Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today I want to talk about an extremely powerful weapon that we can use against vegan ideology. And that's actually listening to ex-vegans that were completely into veganism and then after decided to quit and then make videos why they're going to quit. So we have some very prominent YouTube people on the internet, part of the YouTube vegan community. Some of them are quite influential and have built up quite large subscriber counts. So they're very influenceable on YouTube. So when they decide to change and admit that they're no longer vegan, possibly losing years and years of YouTube efforts to grow their subscriber counts. So it's a big move, and it just shows how desperate they become. We look at many studies that are food questionnaires, associated with health statistics called epidemiological studies or observational studies that can look at associations and not causation. And sometimes these studies are actually very small sample sizes. There's no control over really many variables that could influence the outcome. So vegans hold tight to these studies, yet I don't, while I'm not throwing away nutritional science, a lot of it should be taken with a grain of salt. Understanding the limitations of these kinds of studies, how extremely difficult it is to remove healthy user bias, unhealthy user bias, and things like that. So I felt the reason I'm bringing this up is that one of Garland Farms channel, JD from Garland Farms, one of his older videos popped up on my feed. So I was like, okay, I'm going to check it out. And it was very, very well done. He made a brief compilation of about 10 minutes of ex-vegans explaining exactly how they felt when they had that first meal of animal food after quitting veganism. So I'd like to share that with you and like to comment on that. Please subscribe to Garland Farms channel if you haven't already. Garland Farms channel is the kind of channel where you shouldn't just be looking at the latest videos. You should archive down and just go through one by one these videos. If you watch all of his videos, by the end of the binge watching sessions, you'll be able to defend yourself against veganism and perhaps start sharing when opportunity arises the truth. Also, if you're a content provider and you believe in this message, then also try and make some content on this. We need to spread this out because there's not enough voice on this topic. The majority of the people are very, very ignorant on that, the general population. Most of them can't even understand the nutritional facts on the side of a box. And JD has he's a regenerative farmer, as well as having earlier on trained athletes like NFL and stuff like that as a nutritional coach, among other things. So he has kinesiology degree with a minor of biology. So his videos are, he's quite educated and it's worth watching. Subscribe to my channel as well, please. All right, let's get things going so this video ain't too long. Today is a snowstorm. I was supposed to go to work and there's drifts on the farm roads because the wind could pick up, and now I'm home calling in sick. So I figured let's make a video. Let's do something productive. Let's get things going, guys.
I went and got some cod. Yes, I went and got cod, not salmon. Went and got cod, and I ate it. And I remember eating it and being like, dang, this has always been good. Like, you know, it's so good. So I ate it, and I was just sitting there on the bed, and I was like, you know, before I was sleeping, I was just like, how is this going to make me feel?
Yeah. So if you know, this is again quite powerful. You can tell that she said, wow, this is always good. I think she went 5 years. See, animals don't have nutritional science, right? So you put a carrot in front of a carnivore, you know, a cat or something, or a lion or anything, you know, they don't need to Google and go to PubMed to find out if they should eat that or not. They instinctually do not crave these sorts of food. Your body will tell you through what taste and what your cravings are, right? Unless you go down the white sugar road, and that it reacts exactly like a drug. So now your body is craving sugar. That is basically a sugar addiction. But if you're not being influenced by the dopamine releases of sugar and possible addiction, once that's removed, you're going to naturally crave animal food. This is proven and yet denied by many vegans in relation to them saying, well, when we criticize them about all of these mock meats, fake bean juices, which they like to call soy milk or almond milk, and it's not milk. You know, unfortunately, milk has a definition, and it has nothing to do with almonds or soy. So anyways, the fact that vegans make imitation meat, you know, it's marketed like Beyond Meat. Oh my God, this tastes like exactly like meat. Wow, it even looks like blood because there's beet juice. So why are you guys making vegan eggs? Why are you trying to make vegan cheeses? Why are you making all sorts of creative, you know, magic shows with all sorts of concoctions? Again, just trying to imitate texture as well as taste. Because your body will never stop screaming at you to eat the foods that it knows. Okay, the body is extremely smart, and the brain can be deceived.
Oh my gosh. I'm not trying to over-exaggerate or overact right now, but when you have suppressed vital nutrients to your body and to your brain, and when you get that for the first time, it's like a boom, it's like a hit. It's like a dopamine, you know?
And then I was just like, okay, I'm just going to go to sleep. You know, so I went to sleep. Slept like a rock at the bottom of the ocean.
So, you know, for me, when I eat sugar or just carbohydrates, pastas and stuff like that, even as a child, I remember eat lasagna at the restaurant, and I'd be like lying on and sleeping on the booth. I've never felt energized by consuming carbohydrates prior to doing activities. I have no problem with a glycogen refilling carbohydrate meal, but those don't need to even be significantly high on a daily basis, especially if you haven't been active. I mean, if you have an activity and you reload with a carbohydrate meal, and then you return to relatively low carb, focusing on animal foods, you know, you're going to replenish the glycogen. If you're sedentary and you're not training and you're not trying to be competitive and you're not exerting yourself, it's insane to put 300 grams, 250 to 300 gram recommendations. It just does not make sense. So my body tells me that I actually feel like crap with sugar. For me, it is like an addiction. I cannot moderate. And once I get, let's say, onto chocolate or something like that, I will binge like an alcoholic. I will just take that to the extreme. It just doesn't work for me. As well as when I went keto and removed the seed oils, I noticed drastic improvements when I started eating, and my ketogenic diet wasn't insanely high in fat. I was just eating animal foods, and I was getting the majority of the fat just in the animal foods and some butter, stuff like that. I didn't really go high fat, but it did have a mood stabilizing effect, and not necessarily that I was depressed, but the cravings eventually went away. I know the difference between cravings and hunger. I just feel better. I feel like I have a more stable energy supply. There's no ups, there's no downs. When I used to eat carbohydrates, like I said, I would feel very tired. Now that, at one point I went, very, very much carnivore, very little fruits and vegetables. I wasn't avoiding them. I just wasn't going out of my way, all week when you're busy looking for it. Sometimes I have like spinach lasagna or something like that really doesn't have any carbs and stuff. So I wasn't dogmatic about it. But when I eat now, I'll eat berries and stuff, a significant amount. Again, I binge on them, and my back flares up. My discs are screwed up on the bottom of my back, and I get a flare up. And this I could see every time I would buy my berries and binge on them. I would wake up the next day with my back and I'm hunched forward, until I started realizing the cycle. Kale, I remember doing kale a bit when I was doing low carb, making olive oil and salt and kind of making them baked in the oven. I would eat kale and as the greens, trying to be healthy on the keto as a side dish, and a whole family would get immediate abdominal cramps. That's a sign.
Okay, the best sleep I'd had in 5 years. Oh my gosh, I woke up the next day like, boom, dale. And I finally felt grounded. I felt pulled back to earth. And it was such an amazing feeling. I cried, guys. I legitimately cried after eating this omelet. And I think I'm going to cry now about it, because it was that powerful of an experience. It was just the final, release of this is it. I'm finally going to recover.
That's extremely powerful. Now, these people did veganism because they were deceived. They thought that they were doing something good morally, spiritually, maybe environmentally, health-wise, but they were deceived. And that's what a deception is. It appears to be true, but it's not. Or else if a deception was quite obvious, it wouldn't deceive people. So these people are deceived. These people obviously were craving animal food the whole time, this lady says. It was extremely good. Now, hey, all of this, they would call it anecdotal. I don't know. When there is pages and pages of ex-vegans now talking about why they're no longer vegan, 10, 20, 40, and you see this cycle of some lasting many years, and maybe they're cheating. But it's an extremely powerful tool to use. These are the best vegan anti-vegans.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was I was in there, and I was just like, whoa, this is a different level. I've never felt this before.
And then salmon happened. I had my first bite of smoked salmon, wild caught, and it was like taking drugs. I mean, it really was. My pupils lit up. My body came alive.
And that morning, I ate quail eggs.
Dear Lord, I hope that I pressed for the share screen. I hope I pressed audio. Please tell me I pressed audio. Please, Lord. Please let me have pressed audio. All right, we'll see. Or else I'll have to start this damn thing over. Pretty sure it's almost becoming second nature to do it. So over here we see why I'm no longer vegan. So just put that in the YouTube search, okay? This was just 1 month ago. Why I'm no longer vegan. 6 years. Dietitians thought no longer vegan. Another no longer vegan video. So the happy, healthy vegan. So you'll have the ex-vegans that end up, being honest eventually. I'm sure they've been not vegan for a while, and they're just making sure that they're not going to, say something and then get excommunicated from the vegan cult, and then after decide to go back, and then they don't accept them. That's happened before. So then after you get the vegan saying why I'm no longer vegan. Then after you have all the vegans in the community do a reaction video explaining why they were never vegan or that they did it wrong. So if there is a diet that is so complex that what is it, like 85 to 90% dropout rate within how many years? I don't know the exact statistics. We could probably look it up. An insanely high dropout rate of veganism. Now, these, like I said, these deceived vegans, okay, are not necessarily bad people. A lot of them are not YouTube influencers and stuff like that. So a lot of them are extremely deceived. But when they get out of it and they return, they realize, the benefits. Cosmic Skeptic, no longer vegan. Why I'm no longer vegan. I'll let you guys just read out the titles, okay? This is just within last 3 months. Okay, why I'm no longer vegan. Why I'm no longer vegan. I don't know why this guy. Why I'm no longer recommend a vegan diet. Why? What's the reason? Why I'm no longer vegan. Boom. Let's keep on going down. Cancer burger. Yeah, I have to look into this, but there's something about the lab-grown meat that they're trying to do these cell cultures. I don't know if that's true, but you know how cancer causes cells to rapidly proliferate and grow? Well, supposedly, again, gotta look into this. Don't want to spread misinformation, but supposedly there's cancer in it, or they engineered an aspect of cancer in there to help proliferate the cell meat. We'll see. I'll have to look into that. Why I'm no longer vegan. Ça continue. Hey, c'est incroyable. Il y a tellement de monde. Our family's no longer vegan. Let's go. Shall I continue? Let's just say there is mucho amount of non-vegans. Then you have here vegan and loss of periods. So these aren't like articles. These are vegans themselves. Okay, so I don't know what the sample size would be for these vegans, but it looks like there's a large percent of them that eventually start talking about period loss. So period loss on a vegan, why it happens, what to do about it. What to do about it, don't go vegan and eat meat. How I lost my period. I'll let you guys read. I'll go a little slower. 1.5 years, vegans losing their periods, obviously losing their hair as well. That is an impressive forehead lady. That's impressive. Hair loss is another thing. And of course, within 12 hours already, cosmic skeptic, no longer vegan. There's a lesson here. I debated Chat GMP. I mean, give me a break. What happened to me after 4 years of a fruit-only diet? I'm not sure why they always. I mean, okay, you know those movies. Sorry to put them down, but it's true. You know those movies where people enter a town, and all of a sudden, there's mutants there. They're they're interbreeding between their family, and they got family with hair like this, no teeth, deformed, monsterish in those movies, those horror movies. This is what it reminds me of. There's something funky monkey going on, and I don't know why they always look like their hygiene goes to crap. It's like, dude, like you're doing a video, go comb your hair.
Hello there.
Hi.
I'm Fit40 and I'm all raw.
Nice to meet
Simon, you. And today we're gonna do our much-awaited blood result test.
Wonderful.
Yeah, man. We've done a blood test result. Yeah, we've done a blood test result.
Our first result blood test.
3 weeks ago. In Belgium. And Belgium, yeah, because the labs are a little better here than anywhere else in Europe, I would say. We ate the same fruits, but also the same amount, because I ate no less than Simon, right? So this is actually a very interesting.
Funny, eh? When you're not a hind gut fermenter or a frugivore, or even an herbivore, you have to eat a lot of material as a gorilla. But you're not a gorilla, so you're just going to keep on eating and eating and eating, surviving on this fructose energy. I just noted, I was like, whoa, like common theme here. Then so we went through an insane amount. We just saw over the last month. I mean, YouTube's existed for quite a long time. I could scroll down to 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And this is just from the community on YouTube. Then so we went through period loss. We went through why tons of videos that you should look into why they're no longer vegan. Then there's the vegan brain fog. So here we go down the vegan brain fog hole. You'll get videos complaining about brain fog. You'll have videos with doctors trying to explain that it's not the vegan diet brain fog. No longer vegan. So, vegan brain fog. How a vegan diet affects your brain. Okay, so there's issues there. Depression. Okay. Meat improves mental health. Vegans more depressed. All right, Mick the Vegan. Gonna debunk that. Gonna do a video. Try and find an excuse. Are vegans more depressed? I'm sure a bite-sized vegan who looks like a sarcopenic. Ever notice, because their heads start looking bigger and bigger, even though their brain is shrinking, because they start losing literally muscle in their necks sometimes. Poor shoulders. I mean, look, she's not a man there, but we could go and look at Dr. Gregor coming to you live on his treadmill. Vegan depression, anxiety. Oh, it is Sadhguru. Sadhguru. Stop having children. Sadhguru said, stop having children, and the world will flourish like a snake. Study, plant-based. Vegan diets reduce depression symptoms. Isn't it amazing when the vegans themselves are explaining that anxiety and depression is increased? You have publications in psychological journals. You have some nutritional studies. But then when it comes to mainstream, it's like, actually, it does the opposite. It cures everything. Oh, there's a new study that says that this diet, paleo and keto, will kill you. Then you look into PubMed and you really can't find anything. All right. There is one about, I didn't find this one. Psychology Today. 5 out of 6 people who give up meat eventually abandon their vegetarian ways. So that's what actually I wanted to say. Remember when I was talking about them being deceived, many of them, and then coming out of it. So it was they had a choice, right, to eat the vegan diet. And then after, when they got sick, like most of them do, then they had a choice to return to sanity. If vegans would get what they want, which is actually completely in line with the globalists and the elitists, if this occurs, they're trying and they're advocating, these militant vegans, to remove our choice to eat meat. It's no longer a conscious decision based on their morals and ethical worldview that gives them this conclusion. They have a choice to abstain. They have a choice to return. They have a choice to do whatever they want. What the elitists and globalists want is to remove that choice, is to force us through multiple means, whether it's propaganda through social media and mainstream media, publications of epidemiological studies, which over and over they know there's associations. That's because there's so many variables, but they can keep on flooding the news feeds with more and more studies on plant-based. Why? Because then they can use these studies to make headlines, even though the public interprets it as cause and don't understand the variables. So it's a way of controlling the masses. You even have social sciences. So scholarly article, scholar and reducing some all right, strategies to reduce meat consumption. Okay, you're not going to see these even like 20 years ago. Strategies to reduce meat consumption, a systemic literature review of experimental studies. Factors identified in correlational studies, that's associated studies, food questionnaires, as well as health statistics or statistics. Factors identified in correlation studies were generally found to be useful agents of behavior change in experimental studies. However, several factors have not been tested. So don't worry, they're doing studies, guys. Okay, the good grown-ups will definitely 100% take care of you. They'll think for you, and they'll re-educate us. Don't worry. Let's watch a little bit more of Garland Farms, the original one.
And I had like 18, maybe like 15, 16 eggs, because quail eggs are really small. And I ate those eggs And I ate it, and I was just like, man. And I made sure I got like some pasture raised eggs, because I did my homework, you know. And I was like, make sure they was like, you know, organic, at least the most I could do, and pasture raised, all that stuff. And I ate those eggs, and man, I felt my spirit go boom. Like it was like something hit me like a wind, just bam. I cannot describe it. You only know it when you experience it.
She was baptized. She was talking like the Holy Spirit, you know, the holy quail egg spirit descended on her.
When I would eat that meat, I would feel like life was being put back into me. The next day, I would feel a little more alive. Even in that moment, I would feel like I had more energy.
When I ate
Resurrection from the dead, as my title says. Ex-vegan,
salmon,
resurrected from the dead, the brain dead.
I sat there. Man, I want to cry tears of joy right now.
We went to a restaurant and I had a chicken. I, like everybody else, I can't even describe what happened to me. I was like, you know, like my eyes went like this, you know, like a cat when you...
Pretty bad when you're having a heroin experience with chicken. I mean, imagine it's like vegan eats dry ass chicken breasts and feels heroin high. Chicken breasts. I can't eat chicken breasts. Dry chicken breasts.
You open a cat can or you give them a piece of meat. I was like, this is incredible. And I just finished the chicken.
I sat there and it felt like somebody got a bucket of oil and just poured it over my brain, you guys. I cannot describe that feeling to you.
How can you feel instantly better from just eating an egg? But now I experienced it myself. I just felt amazing, right?
Great job, by the way, JD, on this video.
Within 3 days, I just had a constant smile on my face. I was so happy.
So happy. I feel like chicken tonight, like chicken tonight. Boop, 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 boop. That's going to be in my head. That was a commercial. Okay, what the heck am I doing, guys? Yes. Besides sugar, if there's something that just, oh my God, that's so good, then you're probably supposed to eat it. Unless it's processed food and junk food and sugar-packed food, because the junk food corporations understand. That's why I'm saying they understand the science. It's like the junk food corporations understand how to add ingredients together to explode into your mouth while killing you slowly. And we can't figure out what we're supposed to eat, but they know exactly how to screw us with food. They're not stupid. This is all about corporate gain and having us eat what is subsidized, among other things. Over here, let's just look at, before I go to the next thing. No, you know what? I'm going to go. So if you notice, a lot of them talk about improved mood, right? And your brain is 60, it's about 60% fat. High levels of omega-3 essential fatty acids also in the brain. Hormones, sex hormones, all hormones basically are cholesterol and fat. So one of the reasons I think that ketosis, which is usually induced when you avoid carbohydrates and you have a higher ratio of fat and usually there's not necessarily more significant increase in protein, maybe a little bit. my carnivore diet is actually, you know, probably half fat, half protein. So if your mood is increased with a ketogenic diet, what if it's that so many people have been avoiding fat for so freaking long, you know, at least going on almost a century, maybe 80 years. Maybe we feel that there's a relief of depression, of mood, a mood stability, because we're just starting to supply fat, and usually it's animal. Well, no, it better be animal fat, or else you're not doing a healthy ketogenic diet if you're sucking down vegetable oil. But yeah, there's, you know, again, see, an association between diet and mood. Okay, so that's why I'm saying there's just as many studies to debate one side as the other. Ketogenic diet may have mood stabilizing properties. Over here, ketogenic diet as a metabolic therapy for mood disorders. Ketogenic diet and cognition in neurological disease. Ketogenic diet improves cognition. Okay, improves cognition. It has has biochemical effects in the prefrontal cortex that are dissociable from hippocampus. Ketogenic diet improves cognition. Effects of a ketogenic meal on cognition. The effects. But then you'll have nature. So detrimental effects of ketogenic diet on cognition functions in rats. Well, good thing we're not rats. The effects of the ketogenic diet. All right, we're getting the point. So I think that the ketogenic diet, because they say that there's an improvement in depression also with a carnivore diet. So ketogenic diet, carnivore diet, ketones, higher levels of ketones more often. Could it just be that our whole nervous system is dependent on fat, from the myelin sheath that covers the nerve system to the literal building blocks of the brain? Over half of the brain composition is fat. Sex hormones are important. Low testosterone gives depression in men. We know that testosterone rates are dropping. We also, should, as a side note, understand that the lab results in your blood tests, the normal ranges, that's just looking at large population and the averages of these nutrients, as well as the daily requirement to at least prevent deficiencies. It doesn't tell us the optimal levels of nutrients. And there's rarely any talk about vitamin K2 and things like that. Let's go back to JD's video. We're not going to watch the whole thing, so I don't want to steal views from JD. That's why I don't, unless he's on my channel, Garland Farms, and he wants to look at his latest video, and we can talk about it. But besides that, I don't do the new ones because I don't want people to see his video that was just published on my channel and then not go over there. I wouldn't do that to a friend. People respond to often response videos to recently published videos when it's like, they're not friends with other channels. They just want to do a response video. But I think that if I use the older videos, that have been published, and find a good one and maybe watch half of it, then and then encourage you guys to go see the other half. I think that that's fair, and it actually benefits me, gives me a talking piece. It's very convincing video, and it might help support and send views towards JD, my friend, Garland Farms channel.
Zero negative thoughts. I didn't went into a negative thought cycle once. It was just I ate the whole chicken, and what happened afterwards, I was a little bit scared of maybe feeling bad, getting a stomach pain, because I don't know if it would digest properly in my tummy, of course.
That's how brainwashed they are. Like, so I ate the actual food that humans are supposed to eat, and then I was scared because I was eating what I was supposed to eat. But anyways, the truth is when you do any significant change in your diet, you might have constipation or diarrhea period in your life. I'm not saying that you'll have periods that are diarrhea. I'm saying a certain amount of days, a transition. You never know now, because I mean, we know that guys can do certain things that girls can do, as you know, and girls can do, certain things that guys can do. So maybe, there is period diarrhea that is finally being acknowledged, because there's so much truth coming out in the world. Like, finally, we're progressing towards a more equitable and compassionate society, where everyone can just be and do whatever they want.
I sat down in a chair and I just relaxed, and I just felt completely high and happy and satiated and so good. I remember I was sitting in the chair and like smiling.
It's crazy because, like, it's not like these people are this is happening at different times. It doesn't mean that they've heard other people's testimonies. Do you see? Like, do you see like the exact same thing? Oh my God, dopamine. Like, these people's like are probably exploding into ecstasy with the first few bites. That's your body saying, thank you, dummy. It's about time.
Looking at my boyfriend and smiling, and
I'm sure your boyfriend was also, her husband, like she just said, was smiling, because maybe you'll have to actually have a libido return and you can have intimate moments again in your relationship.
I sat there as that oil. Those omega-3s are real in every sense of the way. I don't need a scientific study to tell me nada. I know that it's real. Okay? I don't need a scientific study to tell me that.
This must be a really good testimony, because I'm sure JD's like probably edited out a lot.
I know it's real.
She has a good testimony.
I felt that oil, and it went straight to my brain. It went straight to my brain. It felt like it didn't go anywhere else. It went.
Because the brain has such a high percentage of fat, and it's a component of the structure of the brain. It's very simple. If you're avoiding a significant amount of fat, especially if you're just giving omega-6 oxidized seed oils, you are literally not giving the body the building structures to maintain the nervous system at optimal levels, hormones at optimal levels. So the minute you start feeding, because there's essential fatty acids, and there's also fat soluble vitamins. What's happening? Because the fat soluble vitamins are not found in seed oils. Okay, so where are those fat soluble vitamins? They're in egg yolks, they're in the fat, they're in cheese, they're in dairy, they're in the fish. Okay, it's in the animal food. So if you're these vegans that think that you can live on sugar and compassion, which isn't compassion, because in reality we understand that the plant agro is far from being an angel, that industry. Let us continue. Oh wait, I want to check out seem to remember from like my old videos when it was Fast Keto Prime, the channel, that it was around 60%. I think 20% is cholesterol. Assuming the rest is protein. All right, I just popped this up. Yeah. Come on, I just want to see the number. At birth, the average brain weighs 100 pounds and increases to approximately 3 pounds by adulthood. The majority of that weight, 85% of it, is the cerebrum, which is divided into two halves. Your brain also contains cells, nerve fibers, arteries, arterioles. It also contains fat and is the fattiest organ in the body, nearly 60% fat. Okay, so do you understand that you're not going to be maintaining the structure of your brain if you're avoiding fat like the plague? So as vegans claim, and a lot of people fear, is fat's just not good. You got to sneak that stuff in like white sugar, right? And so why would the body require nutrients that are only found in animal food? Not like one or two, not just B12, like many, right? So why would your body find the best sources of that in animal food, and you could not survive on a vegan diet before fortified food supplementation because you just would not find it? You could not live like an herbivore. You needed animal food. And why do you need fat soluble vitamins that are really not present very much or at all in plants? So you have to consume meat, even though it's spiritual, spiritually, and morally bankrupt. It's evil. Yet before all these supplement stores and fortified foods and stuff like that, which haven't existed for millennia, what would we do? How would we get that? And then the fat soluble vitamins are essential to us, but in reality, eating those essential vitamins, because they're only found in fat, then it's also killing us. So we have no choice to eat animals because plants have missing nutrients and deficiencies, and we need those fat soluble vitamins, and they're in the fat of the animal and don't exist or are extremely low in plant fats. Wow, really stupid creation, eh? You need this to survive, and it'll give you a heart attack and lower your chances of living a long life. You'll die. Okay. I'm totally convinced. Until I see an epidemiological study, and still, if I need an association before I believe things. Yeah. It makes perfect sense. It's logical, it's rational. It just makes sense, but I can't trust my brain. I need science. Because I'm not going to take one step left or right unless there's an epidemiological study. I don't know what that accent would be. Vegan. It's a vegan accent. Let's present, and we're going to end this video shortly. Here you go, guys.
Into my brain first.
So the first time that I eat again, meat, it's better say animal products, because it was eggs. You feel like brutal, but hey.
All right, guys. That's it. Have a good one, okay?